Before we go in-depth into the 27 elements of a successful private duty home care business, we want to take a moment to say thanks to our sponsors. These are the companies that have supported the Academy for Private Duty Home Care, and they've helped to make these programs available to you at a more reasonable cost. So we invite you to go to the landing page on our website for each of the sponsors to look at their programs and services, and to, whenever possible, use those services to help you grow and support your private duty home care business. For many years, we've been talking about the business of home care as a relatively simple business, using the metaphor of a three-legged stool. The three legs are business development, staffing, and office operations. And our premise is that as long as you keep a balance between the three legs of the stool, your stool will retain upright and you'll have a successful business. However, a couple of years ago, my son Jason, who is the editor of our electronic newsletter, Private Duty Today, suggested that we look at this a little differently, that we add a little pizzazz, and he named the three pillars of private duty home care: promotion, people, and profitability. And so as we looked into those three pillars, we also talked about the fact that every company has three functional levels. You have three functional levels of your business, and those are the strategic level, which has to do with those things that you do to fulfill the mission and vision of your company and to gain competitive advantage in your marketplace. The managerial level, which are the week-to-week decisions and actions that you take to manage your business, and the operational level, the daily things that you do to take calls, handle inquiries, do in-home assessments, recruit and select caregivers, schedule caregivers, all of the things that happen on a day-to-day basis at the operational level of your business. And so as we looked at the three pillars and the three levels, we realized that we had a 3x3 matrix, and we found that that would be helpful to us in thinking about a model for your business. And so we look at the three pillars: promotion, people, and profitability, and the three levels: strategic, managerial, and operational. And then we ask ourselves, well, what goes in each of those 9 boxes? And the more we looked at it, we realized there are a number of elements that make for a successful private duty business. And so we looked at the promotion pillar, and we said, well, gee, there are 9 elements of promotion that we can focus in on. And so we began to realize that if we looked at 3 elements in each of the 9 boxes, that we would be able to create a matrix of 27 elements of a successful private duty home care business. And so that's what we're going to build the basis of our Academy and the Academy online learning programs, is around the 27 elements of a successful private duty home care business. Then Jason took the matrix we had created and turned it into this graphic, and we will be using this graphic as the basis for going in depth into the 9 boxes and the 27 elements. Let's start our discussion in the upper left-hand corner under the promotion pillar and at the strategic level. And we see 3 elements there: competitive strategy, branding, and your business model. And we're going to go in depth into what we call the 7 sources of competitive advantage. And we'll have a short video on each one of those 7 elements so that you can understand it a little more clearly and make a decision about which element or which competitive strategy is most important to you to differentiate your business in your local marketplace. We're going to go in depth into branding. And branding has to do with the image or the impression that a potential buyer has when they see your company name, your logo, your graphics, or they hear your company name. So what does your brand mean to your referral sources, to your clients and their families? And then we look at the business model. What are the services that you provide, and how do those services combine to provide peace of mind, quality of life, and independence for your clients and for their families? Next, we move down to the managerial level under the promotion pillar. And again, we have 3 elements: marketing, networking, and CRM, or customer relationship management. We're going to give you our updated information on marketing and best practices in marketing. Over the years, Leading Home Care has been conducting intense research into selling and marketing in home health care, hospice, and private duty home care, and we will give you detailed information on the most effective marketing practices to grow your private duty home care business and how you can develop the skills to apply those marketing principles. We'll give you some tips on networking, the process of building relationships in your community and identifying potential referral sources. And we'll talk to you about automating your customer relationship management process. We go down to the operational level in the promotion pillar, and we see those things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Sales, intake, in-home assessments. And these are the things that help bring new clients into your private duty company. Next, we move over to the people pillar, and again, we'll look at the 3 levels. Up at the strategic level, we have 3 elements of corporate culture, leadership skills, and retention strategy. These are the high-level things that you as an owner and your senior team work on as we look at culture as the way we do things around here, the leadership skills that determine how people will follow you, and retention strategy looks at the overall ability to retain high-quality talent in your organization. As we move down to the managerial level under the people pillar, we have staff structure. Who are the people that will be working in your office, and what's the organization structure that they will follow? What are the positions? What are the job descriptions? What are the competencies for each of those positions? We look at the selection process. How do you go about recruiting and selecting key members of your team? And then we have communication. Communication is a major issue for every company. The past 25 years, I figure I've worked with over 500 companies in home health, hospice, and private duty home care, and every one of them has had some form of a communication issue. And so then the question is, well, what does communication look like in our company, and how can we improve the flow of information? Moving down to the operational level under the people pillar, we have recruiting and selection of caregivers. And we have a whole body of knowledge under our Caregiver Quality Assurance Program to help you recruit and select the best caregivers in order to differentiate your company from your competitors. We look at the scheduling of caregivers and the supervision of caregivers, and that wraps up the people pillar. Then we move over to the profitability pillar, and we look at 9 elements there. First of all, at the strategic level, we look at financial goals, at critical measures of success, and at understanding and preparing for an exit strategy. As the owner of a private duty home care company, the best time to develop your exit strategy is on the first day of business, but if you haven't done it up to this point, then beginning right now is a good time to think about increasing the value of your business so that you can prepare at some point in the future to have an orderly exit from the business. Next, at the managerial level, we look at pricing, gross margins, and operating costs. And these are the elements that really give you a profitable private duty home care company, and we're going to go in depth into each of those 3 elements. In terms of day-to-day operations under profitability, we have billing, collections, and tracking results, and we'll give you some tips and techniques for making sure that you're able to collect all of the money that you deserve and that you're going to understand the results of your business so that you can use that information to make wise decisions in the future. So as we go forward in the Academy Online, you're going to be able to access in-depth video learning programs on each one of these 27 elements. The next step is to look at which of the 27 elements are most important to you today. And to understand that, we did a survey of the participants of our live Private Duty Academy workshops. And we've had hundreds of people across the country participate in our live Academy programs. And so we surveyed them to find out which of the elements under each pillar were most important to them. And so under the promotion pillar, they told us that what's most important is understanding competitive strategies, followed by tips for networking in the community, tools to help in the direct sales to referral sources, information on developing your business model, and then we go down to marketing, customer relationship management and CRM software, the inquiry and intake process, branding, and then conducting in-home assessments. When we look at the people pillar, participants in our live Academy programs told us that On the top of the list, we have leadership skills, followed by communication with office staff and caregivers. Then we move down to the staff structure in your office, followed by retention for office staff and caregivers. And then the green bar, corporate culture, the way we do things around here, followed by recruiting and selecting caregivers, supervision of caregivers, selection of office staff, and scheduling. Next, we move to the profitability pillar. And here we have on the top of the list the critical measures of success, the key quantitative indicators that you use to measure the success of your business, followed by pricing of services, financial goals, tracking results, operating costs, gross margins, collections, billing, and finally exit strategies. In addition to the video learning programs for each of the 27 elements, we have identified and developed a number of other resource materials, including ebooks on critical elements of the business. We will be continuing to do research and to compile ebooks, e-tools, and other downloadable resources for you to grow your business. If you have questions about any of the 27 elements as we go forward, please feel free to email us at any time. You can email me directly, Stephen@leadinghomecare.com, STEPHEN@leadinghomecare.com, or you can call our office at 502-339-0653. We want to thank you for being with us for this short video on the 27 elements of a successful private duty business, and we invite you to view the other video learning programs. If you are a registered member of the Academy, you can see these preliminary videos on each of the 27 elements. If you are a premium member, you can go into the login section and look more in depth at the detailed video learning programs. You'll also have discounts on other learning tools and some free downloadable tools. So we invite you to become a premium member of the Academy for Private Duty Home Care.